But sending a voice message like that, like y'all about to breed, like I need to know if we can breed. What? And also, if you send something like that, in my mind, I'ma think that you must got the micro.
Damn.
One thing I had to say is that shit like this is why men are not approaching women. This is why men are not doing all the effort stuff. Because the moment they do something wrong or wrong in a woman's eyes, they're getting put on the internet like it's the female, like it's the group chat. They're getting put on the internet group chat and getting exposed. What's up? If this is your first time seeing my face, I'm lllucyd, lllucyd, Instagram right here, other socials down there, and links to those is in the descriptions to those other socials. Today, like you see, we're gonna be talking about dating in Gen Z. I had a recent video where I talked about, I felt like dating could get saved by a certain activity, run clubs. So if you haven't seen that video, be sure to check out that video after this video or stop. Some people be saying, watch this video first, give me the watch hours. No, if you wanna see that video first, watch that one. I think that video might be better than this one. I haven't even started the video, but this video that we're gonna be watching or reacting to is by lllucyd, and it's called The Voice Note Guy Proves Gen Z Dating is Doomed. Don't know who the voice note guy is, but we're gonna find out in the video. So let's get started. Let's find out who this guy is.
Who would know that one woman's TikTok story about a man who sent her a voice memo after their first date could turn into a conversation about consent, coercion, and ultimately leading to him being called a
It's a good time tonight. Definitely think you are lovely. However, I would love to, if we're gonna go to your place on Thursday, I mean, I am looking to have that physical intimacy to see if like I am compatible with you. So like if I'm gonna come over, like I would be hoping to like hook up, have a good time, have like that romantic spark and that physical spark there for my own sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating someone and seeing them if I don't know if I'm compatible. So I know you said I don't know about that. So like I guess my thing is like what would be the point of me coming over then if we're not gonna like hook up and like cuddle and like be intimate with each other? And if that's what you don't want, that's fine. But like I think we should just like end it here then, respectfully, just because first date, that's fine. Like you want to get to know each other, I'm all about that. But like I am looking to have that physical aspect there, and I don't want to continue seeing someone if I don't know if that's good, if that's not there.
Now you're probably asking yourself, Omar, after one date and one message.
No, first of all, if you even got to send this message, you're not getting no cheeks. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care if you be, I don't want to say that because that woman's married. Who's not married? I don't know, fucking Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion. I always use Megan Thee Stallion fucking examples. I don't care if you one of them and you send a message like that. We need to have gotta stop myself, maybe, but I don't know. For a man, definitely, because it would just give a woman an ick, and I would agree with that ick right there. Like we need to have physical intimacy to see if we're sexually compatible. I think that should be just like you gotta play it cool with that. Not even like saying like, you know, like I'm gonna act like I don't want it. No, I mean if you invite her in, you know then she knows you want it. But sending a voice message like that, like y'all about to breed, like I need to know if we can breed. What? And also, if you send something like that, in my mind, I'ma think that you must got the micro.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie to you. First thing I was thinking when he was saying all that, he must got the micro. I think that is like a deficiency or something like that, or a disability, maybe. I don't know. But I would think that, see if we're sexually compatible. But yeah, that would just give somebody the ick, because even if y'all did that second date, the whole day, what's on both of y'all's mind is what's going to come at the end of the night to find out if y'all are compatible. I don't think that's how you should lead with it. It should be like more like a, what do you call that? Like it just comes to y'all. Like it's just, you feel it. Intuition. It should be in y'all both, in y'all's intuition, I think. Hopefully I'm using these words right. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get better at talking, but yeah, y'all should be able to just feel it, like, oh yeah, I'm feeling him, she feeling, oh wait.
Hey, yo.
Messed up right there. I'm feeling her, she's feeling me, you know, or I'm feeling him, he's feeling her, and then all of a sudden, you know, want to come back to my place, whoever's place they going to, and then bam, bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It should just happen like that instead of, hey, we need to set this up to find out if we're compatible. No, You starting off the relationship wrong as hell right there.
How does that lead to thousands of people calling this man a sexual predator? Well, that's because people are chronically online and single.
But I would not call him a predator. I would call him, damn near call him, I probably shouldn't throw that word out there. I'll just say it anyway. I would call him almost autistic to be this scheduled and in line. Damn near, in my opinion. But I wouldn't call him could you call him a predator? He said it on the phone, so it's not like that. I could say if he said it in person, we need to do this to find out. But the points he was making, like, I don't know. It's a fine line, cause really, I think third date should be like, all right, if we ain't doing that, what's the point of this? Unless y'all both agree to wait till marriage. Third date, why we ain't did nothing yet? You know, that's just my opinion. But the stuff he was saying in there, like, you know, trying to find out if they compatible, you know, it's not right if we just gonna keep dating and then, like, what's the point of this? He said, we can end it right here if we're not gonna do nothing. Doesn't sound like a predator to me. Because if it was a predator, he might have been like, hey, we need to find out if we're gonna do this second date. But if we don't want to, we still can't have the date. Because then, even if y'all had a date, he's still gonna be plotting the whole time. I don't know.
You didn't hear that from me. No. Really. The real thing is that the answer has less to do with what he actually said and more to do with how we talk about dating on the internet. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long, long way for the channel. Don't make me leave a voice note under every one of you commenters who hasn't subscribed. Trust me, I know it's not your first video. You should have been hit that subscribe button. Now, back into the video.
The second time I've ever met you, I don't know your last name or your middle name, but I'm not coming over unless you let me inside of you. That's coercion. That's an ultimatum.
Not only is that not what the just said, but that's not coercion. What the voice note was saying in summary was, I liked our date, but I'm not coming over if we're not having sex. And if we're not having sex, we should not be seeing each other.
I really do think that this conversation about the voice note is actually a very important one to be having online. I think that this is indicative of like what nuance looks like in these type of situations, because this is not consent. This is maybe consent adjacent at best. This is coercion for sure.
The bar really that low for men that we actually have.
Can I just say, her mic sounded, for her still had an iPhone shit, that shit sounded immaculate. Maybe just a little bit of de-esser on the T's and S's, but other than that, I don't know what kind of car was she in. She was in a goddamn Lamborghini or something. The way that shit sounded wonderful.
Have women out here calling this voice memo man a walking green flag? Really? Because he told her through a voice memo that if he goes over to her house that he expects to fuck her instead of going over to her house and forcing himself on her. Great, you didn't rape her, therefore you're a green flag.
In 2026, there are so many
I can see how that can be interpreted like that. Like, we have to have physical, like, it does sound crazy as hell. I would not say that's a green flag, I'd say a yellow. Because he said, I'm not coming over your house. He didn't even say you can't come over my house. He said, I'm not going over your house unless we do something. So she must have invited him to her house. Can't be too much of a creep if she asking him to come over. But I don't know. We don't know I don't know all the messages. I don't, my first time hearing about this.
The evidence, statistics, data, and all these things to prove what I'm saying is factually true. Dating is getting awkward. Rejection is getting awkward. Talking about sex is getting awkward. But recently, one man found a way to tie all of these things into one interaction. I think the reason why this even happened is because people are so away from dating, away from, you know, relationships and all these other things, which we'll get into a little bit later in our video. But this storm has been created because people are chronically online, which, you know, hey, nice to meet you. After one date, this man told a woman that he would like some physical intimacy because it's very important to him, especially when he's grading how compatible one person is with another person. And that if they were going to go on a second date, which it seems as though they agreed would be at her house, and it was not going to happen, then they probably shouldn't, and they should continue on their ways not dating each other. Now, the internet split into two camps. One of the camps is trying to figure out what exactly was said wrong here. This just seems like normal conversation and communication between two people.
Man sent you a message that said, if you don't want to have, I don't want to go on a second date, and y'all are mad about it in the comments. I did see a good point that said it's creepy because it's an ultimatum. It's not an ultimatum if the circumstances don't matter to me. It's only an ultimatum if there's something I actually want on the other end. You're not ultimatuming me with another date with someone who's creepy like you. I don't give a fuck.
And then there's the other camp that is using words that I honestly, and I do mean honestly, never think I've ever heard of or seen in my life.
What that voice memo guy was doing is called weaponizing consent. consent. That's a term that I just came up with today because we desperately need it. Actually be able to talk about what's happening in that situation. So we've had weaponized incompetence. We've had weaponized therapy speak. And now get ready for the next thing that men are going to weaponize against you, which is consent. And the whole idea of weaponizing something is you're basically taking it and using it in bad faith to the point where it defeats the original purpose.
One side praised his honesty. One side said that he was manipulative. He was outright dangerous. They started using words like weaponized consent. And I swear, I saw somebody say that man has had some troubles with consent before. And I think that that's just a wild jump and a wild leap to be making. But after listening to the recording, I don't think that either of these sides really are hitting the nail on the head.
Good time, I definitely think you are lovely. However, I would love to, if we're gonna go to your place on Thursday, I mean, I am looking to have that physical intimacy to see if like I am compatible with you. So like if I'm gonna come over, like I would be hoping to like hook up, have a good time, have like that romantic spark and that physical spark there for my own sake, because it's hard for me to continue dating if dating
I think when he said for my own sake, that's what fucks it up. Cause it's like, oh, you just want to get off. Even though he's probably saying for the sexual compatibility, when he's saying for my own sake, that ain't what you want to be saying, my guy. I ain't even trying to tell him how to be I got to chill out with my word choices. But if he was just only trying to clap some cheeks or trying to clap cheeks and, you know, have a relationship, you got to make the cheek clapping pleasurable for both of you, even when you're talking about it. I want us, you know, for both of our sakes, so, you know, so we don't waste our time just in case we don't have chemistry in the bed. You don't got to clap too hard. Don't clap too loud. But yeah, I'm not talking about them clapping. Anyways, yeah, I feel like he should have said it like that instead of him saying for my own sake. That's why I was saying that autistic stuff. I don't know if he's had problems. He probably had more problems of him having dates. Then all of a sudden after like 2-3 dates or even 4 dates, especially if he's talking about the second date, he wanted to hit at the second date if you go into her house. But he probably had like 3-4 dates. They finally get into bed and he don't do a good job and they never talk again. I ain't gonna lie, this is recently. That shit happened to me recently. The thing was, I don't want to talk too much on it because, well, I ain't really famous right now, but I ain't really like, we was cool, but I don't, the chemistry wasn't there for me. But yeah, that could happen to you, you know? So maybe that's what he's thinking about.
If I don't know if I'm compatible. So I know you said I don't know about that. So like, I guess my thing is like, what would be the point of me coming over then if we're not gonna like hook up and like cuddle and like be intimate with each other? And if that's what you don't want, that's fine. But like, I think we should just like end it here then, respectfully, just because first date, that's fine. Like, you want to get to know each other, I'm all about that. But like, I am looking to have that physical aspect there, and I don't want to continue seeing someone if I don't know if that's good, if that's not there. No.
Ooh. Now that brother is...
That nigga do sound thirsty. But also, that was probably her intentions. I don't know many women that would invite a guy over to their place if they not trying to clap. This nigga just don't know how to read between the lines. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure there's women that invite guys over for a second date and don't do anything. But I think not even 9 times out of 10, I think even if it's 7 to 8 times out of 10, shorty's trying to let you hit or she's trying to clap. So that just didn't make no sense to me. Unless on the first date, they went to the house. Cause like I said, I don't know nothing about this. If the first date, they went over her house or they went over somebody's house, had the date, and then nothing happened, then he like, nigga, I'm not about to come to your house again and not clap no cheeks. I could see where his frustration would be. Dead ass, I probably would be frustrated too. I'm like, shawty, you were just in straight booty shorts and spaghetti straps, walking around the house cooking me dinner, and I can't clap. Blue balled again, I would feel him. But if it's like y'all went into the restaurant, did she invite you over the house? Maybe she liked you and was comfortable enough for you comfortable enough to invite you to the house. And probably intended to clap some cheeks, get cheeks clap, have clapping sounds all over the place.
Jesus Christ.
So this nigga just probably just don't know how to read between the lines.
creepy. I ain't gonna lie. Definitely wouldn't phrase it like that. Now look, the gist of the situation is, hey, we went on one date, the second date that we've already agreed upon. I think that we should explore some sort of schmexual experience. If you don't want to, then that's also fine with me. I have birds chirping in the background, which nobody seems to be talking about at all. Why does this grown man have birds chirping in the background? We can move on if we are not okay with this. There is some language in the beginning that makes it seem as though he had propositioned this.
Niggas can't have birds in the background. Niggas probably walking outside. He sounded like he was walking. What is wrong with this man?
On the first date as well, which is a little bit interesting, but all in all, what I'm trying to get to here is that he doesn't threaten anybody. He doesn't say that she owes him anything. You know, it's not like I'm about to come and strap you down type of situation, which I think is also... However, I can say that he does make continuing the relationship feel conditional upon, you know, the schmexual escalation of it all, which, you know, while crass, while a little bit on the nose, while a little bit is something that a lot of people do in the beginning. It may not always be schmexual, but I don't think that this is too much different than, you know, you being upfront about different belief systems or ideologies or ways that you see your life. Hey, if you want to continue this, then, you know, you have to be this or that or the third or the fourth. So while I think that the message is weird, awkward, socially tone deaf, and all the other things above, this brother clearly has no game at all. I do think that it's important that people are actually criticizing what he said and not trying to imagine some things that he had said.
I keep seeing videos that are like, okay, well, what if instead of just like being a straightforward communicator, he actually did this, and then they'll craft a hypothetical, right? So like I saw 2 videos today, right? And it was like, okay, what if he wasn't actually trying to like be an effective communicator? What if he just knows that this is the path of least resistance? So he's actually trying to manipulate the girl into like, how do we get here? And I feel like the person in that video genuinely wasn't joking. They were like he just knows that like lots of women have said that they want the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So now he's saying if he wants, like, he's gonna tell the truth, but he's not telling the truth because he wants to be an effective communicator. He's telling the truth because he knows that like it might get him brownie points and then hopefully like end up furthering the having whatever. And it's like, so you are just finding a way to twist. Like, that's actually probably exactly what happened. Women said, hey man, don't sugarcoat my shit. Tell me the truth. And he said, okay, I'll tell you the truth. Is that manipulation? No, that's just telling the truth, right?
There's a fine line between telling the truth and telling too much of the truth. Like, because I don't even want to give this example. This is too much of an example already. She's already given an example. Say like somebody cooks you some food and they burn, like they cook you a goddamn hamburger, they burn the patty. Like, you know, you'll be like, if you did not want to hurt their feelings, you would still want them to, you know, get better. You'd be like, you might have cooked a little too long or whatever, but it's still all right, and you still eat it or something like that, because I don't know. But if you were telling the truth like this man, you'll be like, this burger is bad. You've cooked it way over, like there's charcoal right here. I don't like my burgers with charcoal on them. That doesn't taste good. So next time when you cook me a burger, make sure I'm watching. Like, that's almost how he was. Instead of being like, you know, oh, he gonna come over. I think it would be, I don't know, a better way to him for to say it. I don't fucking know. A better way for him to say it would probably just bring condoms, because the girls, like I said, there's not many women that would invite you over. At least I don't think so. Ones I know would invite you over if they were not intending on doing the deed. So, like I said, there's a fine line between telling the truth. You wouldn't go up to your friend if they had bad makeup on and call them ugly. You'll probably be like, You probably wouldn't even say it looks ugly. You probably like, you might have put a little too much makeup on. You'll probably say that, just a little bit too much. I like it, but you might put a little bit too much on, instead of you just being like, if you just don't like it at all, just being like, this shit is butt ugly. You get what I'm saying? Women don't want nothing but the truth, but that's not the way you say it.
Like, what are you talking about?
I'm a woman who is open to casual flings. I'm open to hooking up with somebody on the second date if the vibe is right. But I am telling you that if I got a voicemail like this, even if I was really attracted to the guy, even if I would have, in theory, had sex with him on the second date, I would absolutely decline. And
as like I'm saying, you just gotta play it cool, my guy. This ain't a business. This is relationships.
The reason that I would decline wouldn't be because I didn't want to talk about consent. It wouldn't be because I didn't appreciate active communication. It would be because a voicemail like that would make me feel pressured.
The biggest problem isn't
exactly.
It's that he tried to handle attraction like some sort of business negotiation. Attraction
like
and consent.
Oh my God, I'm on it. Oh, my bad.
Usually
tell y'all, man. And I ain't just some man out here macking and clapping everything in the world. It's just like, I'm taking this even with friendship. You can go with a friendship like that. When you first meeting somebody, even as a friend, the first thing you're not gonna do after fucking meeting something, like in school or something like that, if you got a friend, y'all in middle school or something like that, after 2 classes or 2 days or 2, like I said, 2 classes with them, you're not, even if y'all cool and y'all laughed both the days, you're not inviting that friend straight to your house. Cause you're, depending on the type of parent, they'll be like, who the fuck is this kid? I don't know this kid. Who's their parents, you know? So you're not just inviting them over. Or if you do invite them over, it's gonna be like, you're not gonna be like, I need you, if you come to my house, you have to let me play with your G.I. Joe, or let me play your Wii U, so I know that you're good at the game, so we can have even more fun and make sure I can have fun with you. You're not gonna say that. You're just gonna come, the kid that you're friends with is gonna come over the house, y'all gonna play games, y'all gonna feel the vibe and see if you want that kid to come over again and play some more. You know, if y'all want to play the game some more, maybe next time y'all can do skateboarding or something. You get what I'm saying? To even take it without dating part. That's how you would go with any relationship. You would take steps, but not try to make it feel like a business transaction. Like, you have to come over, and if you come over, you have to do this so we can know if we can still be friends. But no.
Organically during a relationship, not over a scheduled voice memo. Now, again, I think that there's a reason why he went about it this way, but we'll get into that just a little bit later in the video. I promise you, stick around. The message almost sounds like he's trying to pre-book some sort of intimacy before the next date even happens. That's something reserved for couples who have been married for a bunch of years and they have kids and they have very tight schedules. You schedule Pound Town on Wednesday for Friday, right? When you're married, not when you're just getting to know somebody. Even if his intentions were to be transparent, the delivery removes all types of spontaneity that makes dating feel natural. Imagine planning a surprise birthday party by emailing somebody the itinerary days, months, weeks, or whatever in advance. You technically communicated everything clearly, but you also sucked all of the life and enjoyment out of the experience. That's kind of what the voice note guy did for dating as a whole.
Exactly.
So now we have social media criticizing not the message for being uncomfortable, socially tone deaf, awkward, cringy. It definitely made me cringe when I first read it. But people starting to use a bunch of different languages that honestly don't feel like they really fit unless you jam them in there. No pun intended.
This is not hard. This is an open book test from a lawyer. You ready? Okay. What is consent? It's an enthusiastic yes. Anything not an enthusiastic yes is a no. So when the voice note starts out by acknowledging that in the last conversation, she did not give him an enthusiastic yes. He says, I know you said you didn't know about that. And then he proceeds to try to change her mind after her no. And he doesn't just say, oh, I know you said you weren't sure about it, but maybe reconsider, please, which in and of itself, still coercion. If you hear something that's not a yes and you push, that is coercion.
But everyone's asking me my opinion on the voice memo guy. All of this is signs to me of a man who something has happened in the past or he's struggled with consent and boundaries of some sort. He probably went to therapy, a bad therapist maybe, and came out thinking that this was what consent needs to look like, especially if this happens again, he will have this sort of agreement to fall back on, even though that's not how consent works. This is, an important conversation to have in sorts, but later down the line when everyone's ready for it, and not if you're continually pushing it on the woman before she's clearly ready to have it. That is very pushy. It reads like love bombing, which also goes hand in hand with men who struggle with consent and basic boundaries and things like that, right? They want everything all at once on their timeline very quickly, and they will blow through any barriers or boundaries you attempt to put up.
Struggled with consent as a blanket statement on the internet is very, very, very dangerous grounds. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't have been as careless as that. That's a little bit crazy. The internet did what the internet does, and it started running rampant with this narrative that this man was some sort of manipulator, abuser, predator, struggles with consent, all of the above. For what it's worth, this is probably the most impressive thing about the internet to me, is that they can take a 1.5 minute clip and run it to death. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this on national broadcast talking about this guy. And I do wonder how the woman in real life and the man in real life feel about all of this, because I know for a fact that their intentions weren't to go viral when, he sent that voice memo, and for what it's worth, when she posted this clip to the internet. This is insane.
I ain't gonna, that's cap that she didn't think about going viral with this shit. She probably didn't think it, I don't even know if she was probably hoping it would. guy, I'm sure he doesn't even know this is out until now, probably.
I for sure know that he never thought he would be dancing on the line of being called a rapist. Who would have known? Now, on the opposite side of that, people defended, saying that this man was simply just communicating his own expectations and feelings about what will happen as they continue dating or not dating or whatever.
Do y'all know what you want in life? Because why is this man being ridiculed? It don't matter how he said it. He told you what he wanted. You don't have to go out with him. If you don't want to go out with him, that's cool. The nigga told you, hey, if we go out on this next date, I do want to get some skin. It is now your choice to be like, hey, we can go on another date, or nah, I'm good, but thank you for telling me anyway. Y'all cry about men being master manipulators and narcissists and playing you the whole time. They could have just been upfront. And then when the motherfucker upfront, now y'all saying it's coercion.
But something that I noticed in all of this discourse is that very few people actually fixated on the words he used. Instead, people debated what they believed his intentions must have been. And, you know, once that discussion becomes assumptions instead of the recording itself, everyone began filling in these blanks with their own experiences and biases and thought processes and all this other stuff like that. The more extreme the interpretation, the more engagement it received, pushing the loudest opinions to the top of everyone else's feed. And as a result, the internet stopped asking themselves, hey, what did he say? I even saw people in the comment section as I was doing research for this video talking about, hey, I need to see I need to see the actual clip. I need to see the actual clip. I need to see the actual clip. So many people judging it without actually having seen the actual clip. They started to talk about, well, what kind of person they think he is. What kind of deviant do they think he is? Missing it totally, in my opinion. There's a huge difference in saying that somebody gives you some sort of creepy vibes, and then on the other end saying that somebody is a pred. Those aren't interchangeable terms. But on the internet, hey man, you do what you want when you popping.
It will never be normal to me for men to weaponize relationships and connections in order to get. And as a black woman, like, this is not a new concept to me, right? This might be a new concept for white women.
Why the fuck is this how did we turn this into a black thing? We're supposed to be just talking about dating in general. I don't know. We're gonna see what she put these connections to, but all right, I don't really see it.
And y'all might be used to men like pretending to want to be in emotional and relationship connections in order to have access to sex. But black men have been doing this forever. Black men are very upfront about what they want, about wanting sex, about wanting to be in a sexual commitment. And if you don't give it to them, they don't want to be with you. They don't want to go out with you. They don't want to date. And just because they're honest and upfront don't make it right. Right? This is
I'm pretty sure there are black men that do the same shit, the playing the friend or playing the slow card, knowing that they just want chicks, the same way a white man, an Asian man, an Indian. This is a man thing, or, you know, supposedly supposed to be a man thing. I don't think race got anything to do with this, but I guess.
Right? And the bar is so low for men, for dating, for commitment, for relationships, that y'all are like, well, he didn't do anything wrong. Are you bitches brain dead? I think you are. I do.
And this is where it starts to turn into the bigger conversation about modern dating. People who have dealt with manipulation before may have heard manipulation almost immediately. Same thing with coercion, same thing with maybe all of the other phrases. But then on the other side of the spectrum, people who are frustrated with modern dating may hear a refreshing take of honesty injected into their systems. Others hear desperations, others hear emotional immaturity, and the same 60-second recording becomes a completely different story depending on who's listening to it all. And so then the conversation totally stops about this one guy and how he went about doing these things, and it becomes a mirror everyone is projecting into their own worst dating experiences. It's just all surrounding a 60-second voice memo. Like, it's just insane.
I've been in the situation where it was actually someone who was famous, and he called me after he took me to dinner in LA. And he was like, I just want to be upfront with you. Like, is this ever going to turn into a sexual thing? Because that's what I'm looking for. And I was like, no, probably not. And he was like, all right, well, I wish you nothing but the best. Never in my wildest thoughts did I think that that was a threat. In my mind, I was like, wow, I'm glad that we got that out of the way. And he let me know what his intentions were, because I was given the option, I was given the choice, and I didn't feel pressured or anything like that, because he came to me and was like, hey, you can either like, is it this or is it that? If he went to her house and said those things and she felt pressured and whatever and she came on the internet and told the story, then okay. But he didn't even put himself in the position for her to feel threatened because he asked her before he went there.
Now to me, somebody who is...
That was probably the best take ever between men and women. That was the best, or I guess she put out the best example because like he said, like she said, he never put himself in the situation. He was not at her house. He sent a voice memo. All she got to do is say no. I hope to God she never sent this man her address, because we don't know, stipulations after that. But was not at her house, over voicemail, like you said in the beginning, birds chirping in the background. All she got to do is say no. Or not even answer the call, answer him at all. Just be done with it. So to feel pressured, you would only feel pressure if you feel like you also need to get something out of it. Like a job. Or like a business, like I keep saying. If somebody's saying you gotta mow the grass, under fucking 2 hours, and if you don't, I will not be giving you money. That might be cool. Is that coercion? I don't fucking know. But that will feel like pressure rather than them saying like, especially if you need the money. But if somebody says, I would like this grass to be under 2 hours, if that's possible, and I would like to, that will help us continue this business transaction. I would ask for more lawn mowing services. I mean, you'll feel pressure, but you'll be like, if you don't do it under 2 hours, you still get your money. That might be a bad example, but you get what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Let me chill.
Trying to run up a bag on getting dating content off. The only thing that I saw in this is not that this guy was a pred, or not that he was weaponizing consent, not that he was trying to coerce this young lady into anything. Personally, the only thing that I saw was a loser who is bad at dating, who is a part of a society who is also bad at dating, and they have a bunch of issues when it comes to dating and relationships and all these other things, and they're trying to label it to death and figure out why. Asking for before a second date isn't inherently wrong, but trying to negotiate it ahead of time through a voice note makes the interaction feel clinical and awkward. Consent isn't something that you do schedule 3 days in advance. Chemistry develops naturally in person. Now, can you do a temperature check beforehand? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that, but that doesn't mean that you don't need to then check the temperature while you are in the same room with that person. And I'm not saying that he wasn't going to do that. Trust me. That's what they're saying on the internet. That's what the ascribers of the situation are doing. It's funny though, because this guy was trying to make sure that nobody was wasting their time with a second date, but I do think that he basically guaranteed that there wasn't going to be a second date at all. He got it up out of there, it is what it is. And if he was going to get some cat, he wouldn't have gotten it. Like, it's clear as day to me that he would have gotten it. This wouldn't have even been a thing on the internet for people to be discussing. She would have never posted said voicemail. They would have been smashing and on to the next thing. That's just how humans work. I know somebody is going to look at this and be like, ew, Omar, you said cat. That's so gross and crass. People talk naturally, gang. I don't know what to tell you.
Just to be clear on the voice note guy, he could have said verbatim. He could have been verbatim, said this out his mouth. If we ain't when we go to your house on the second date, I don't want to pursue this any further. He could have said that verbatim and I would still be on his side. No, nothing else. That is clear, direct, no manipulation, no gaslighting, no leading nobody on, no wasting nobody's time. I still would be on his side. I've seen a lot of think pieces. They're like, he basically gave her an ultimatum. Even if he did, so the fuck what? He did it over the phone. She was safe away from him. There was no pressure. He could have did a voice note and texted, hey, if we ain't smashing tomorrow, I don't even want to talk to you. No, he could have said that and I would still be on his side.
Honesty is important. Just as
that's dead ass all he had to say. This nigga did this whole monologue about 4-hour connection and shit like that. Like I said, something had to happen in his past, or he must have went on a few dates and clapped and then they never talked together or some shit, or something, or they didn't clap after like 4 days and then he felt like we didn't even get chemistry. I don't know, but dead ass. That's all he gave her an ultimatum. An ultimatum is not a threat, it's not manipulation, none of that. Especially when you don't need nothing out of it. It would be manipulation if They was at the house. He said, if you don't give me no cheats, you're not getting out this house. Straight manipulate. That's kidnapping at that point. But she's far away. He said, I don't want to come over to your house, to the woman's house, if I can get no cheats. He didn't say you can't. He didn't even say you can't come over to my house. He said, I don't want to go over he don't want to go over the woman's house. How much non-manipulation is that? Where he don't even want to go over her house. He's not trapping. The fuck? That don't even make no sense.
Important as timing is. Delivery also matters just as much as intent. Being transparent doesn't excuse poor social skills. Likewise, being awkward doesn't mean that somebody is abusive as well. This guy, to me, just sounds like a young 20-something-year-old who doesn't have a bunch of social skills, doesn't communicate quite often with women or even hell, men for that matter. His homeboys probably would have told him that this is not the thing to say. And so he sent a voice memo as if he were sending up a work email to somebody that he was trying to be romantic with. You know, I'm criticizing him for him not having game, but this is the plight of a lot of the young people out there. So not every creepy guy is some sort of pred. Not every awkward interaction is coercion, and not every honest conversation is respectful just because it's honest. Sometimes somebody is just socially clueless. That may also reveal larger issues with Gen Z dating online, where every uncomfortable interaction becomes manipulation, abuse, or debate about consent. But real dating is messy. People communicate badly, misread signals, and say the wrong thing without being dangerous. All of this just screams that young people need to, have some serious conversations about dating or do dating and all this, and remove the social media element of it all. Not saying just as much, but why would she put this interaction online? People have messy and sloppy and weird interactions in the dating sphere all the time that shouldn't exist online. I think that that's just a weird concept as well. But this is a Gen Z thing. So every weird and awkward thing that happens to you, you must post it, which then subjects that moment to the criticism and the conversation and the blah, 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 and the blah, blah, blah. Problem is that
I would say even stuff like that,
internet wants heroes and villains. And
one thing I had to say is that shit like this is why men are not approaching women. This is why men are not doing all the effort stuff. Because the moment they do something wrong, or wrong in a woman's eyes, they're getting put on the internet like it's the like it's the group chat. They're getting put on the internet group chat and getting exposed. This what's wrong with dating is that women have the ability to not even women. People have the ability, men and women and everybody, have the ability to expose people for the most minute mistakes, things, the most smallest mistakes. And it scares everybody. You can't do nothing wrong, or you are a statistic, or is that even a word? You are a viral mistake. So that is why people don't be doing no more, man. This is why everybody's so cautious. Why dating is so bad. Because everybody has to be on their toes, or they are a viral mistake, a new viral topic. Man, the internet really don't be doing justice for people. It ain't doing justice for Gen Z. It ain't doing justice for dating, period. But I think we got a solution, and it's going outside and running. So last video, if you want to watch what I think might be a solution for dating, watch my last video. But like I said, if this is first time seeing my face, I'm lllucyd, lllucyd, and watch this video to find, like I said, to find the solution. This might be the solution right here. Not even touching grass, running on grass probably. If you like these topics and everything, be sure to hit the subscribe button, or consider hitting the subscribe button. I'm not coercing you, no manipulation here. Just if you want to, hit the subscribe button. And I hope you come around and click on another video. Peace.